Hello, everyone, and welcome to Soul Sparkle Radio. I am so excited to have you here today, and also excited to be joined by my dear friend, Stephan Lovegrove, who is America's life coach. Stephan lives in Orange County in the LA area, and he has been working primarily with entrepreneurs and public figures in the entertainment industry, helping people create a life that they absolutely love, and is also one of the most magical people that I know. So welcome, Stephan.
Hi, Haley. I'm so happy to be talking with you today.
Oh, you're the best. You are only the second Soul Sparkle dude that has been featured on the radio show. And I knew when I met you that you had to be part of this broadcast because you just have so much to offer and so much magic that you bring to the world. So we're so glad to have you.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you for what you created in the world.
It's so fun. Well, it's, you know, like I told you, we don't script very much here on this show because I just really like to dive in and flow with what feels, what you feel called to share. But the first question I want to ask you is, what makes your soul sparkle? What lights you up from the inside out?
I think the thing that sets my soul on fire is people reaching their full potential. Which I think is kind of a cliche answer, but something very specific because in college I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, and I knew that it was going to be healing work of some kind, and I didn't feel called to the religious space, didn't feel called to the nonprofit space, was trying to figure out what that was going to look like. And I realized that I was passionate about empowering people, not just to heal their wounds, but also to realize what they are capable of to reach that point. And so that moment that I get to have with people all the time, where this light bulb goes off and they realize that's my dream, that's what I want, that's what I'm here for and what I'm capable of. I live for that moment, and I love it every single time it happens over and over again. I feel like that's what lights my soul up.
I love it. I can just feel the energy, the glow from that. And I love that you and I both, I think, have similar messages in helping people realize that they can create a life that they love. They can step into the greatest version of themselves and do what they love to do, live where they want to live, have the relationships and things that they most desire. A lot of times, though, people think that when you already are living that lifestyle, that it's always been that way. But I know for you, you had to go through quite a bit of suffering and struggle to get to kind of where you are right now. So I'd love for you to share with us if there's something you feel called as a story or an experience that you had to go through in order to create this life, so then you can inspire others to do the same.
Yeah. So I grew up as a gay kid in a fundamentalist cult. It was every bit as crazy and not fun as it sounds. So my childhood, my background, those 18 years of life were very tough. And when I was 18, I had to stay closeted, get through high school, not get expelled from that environment. And then right after I graduated, my dad kicked me out of the house. And it was really a tough period. Like, that was not the turning point for me. That was a tough point. That was maybe the lowest point. But I really struggled for about a year or two. And there was this defining moment where I had come out of the closet online. I had told my story, in true Sagittarius fashion, and shared it with the world.
Nice.
And I was going to a religious college at the time, and they called me in and they said, "This has become a PR nightmare for our school." Which if they only knew what was about to happen. But they said, this is a PR nightmare for our school. They said, we're going to remove you from your position. We're taking away your financial aid. You cannot do anything in leadership, etc. And something shifted in me. And I can't credit it to anything other than grace speaking a word of hope to me in that moment. Because I remember I walked out of that meeting, and And something inside of me prayed a prayer of gratitude and said, thank you. Because I don't know where this is going. I don't know what the end of the story is, but I know that the odds are still in my favor. I know that this is working for my good. And the best is yet to come. And so something shifted in me, and I drove away from that campus, and I knew this was my starting point. I did not have to be a victim. I did not have to be defined by this. I did not have to be stuck in this. But it was just a starting point. And so, I love that you said that because life can change overnight, as many of us know. For better or for worse. I think a lot of us have been reflecting on that ever since Orlando. But for me, there's a lot of hope in the idea that things can get better. They really can. For anybody out there who's in a really dark place and you feel like there's no way out, I'm really passionate about letting people know I get it. Like I was the 14-year-old tying themselves to sleep at night, feeling like this is awful and there's no way out. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this and how things are going to get better. But I did, and they did, and that's how life works. And so no matter what your starting point is, own it and realize things can get better. You can have a life that you love. If I can, anybody can.
Amen. Such a sweet word of encouragement and inspiration, right? Because I think a lot of times people don't feel like it's available to them, or they have all these reasons why it's not possible. And now you've been able to kind of go through that dark night of the soul and come back out on the other side of it, feeling empowered and strong, and the hope that you can create a better life for yourself. And that's part of the work that you do now in the world, which is also encourage others to do that. Now, I know you do that through a lot of different ways. I would love for you to share with us a little bit more about the work that you're doing in the world and how you inspire and encourage others to overcome maybe their limiting beliefs or their fears. And I know you've written a book. I'd love to hear about that, and then also share anything else that might be of fun and exciting interest for our listeners.
Yeah. So a little bit about the work that I do. Like you said earlier, the two groups of people that I work with are entrepreneurs and people in the entertainment industry. And though they're different in a lot of ways, there also are some hilarious similarities in both of those groups of people. When you're just starting out, it's not conventional, right? You don't have a traditional 9 to 5, and some people think you're crazy. Some days you wonder if you're crazy, you wonder if you should go back to a day job. And then, when you start getting momentum, things really take off in both of those fields. And your shit comes to the surface. Can I swear on your show? I don't know.
Sure, it's okay. Thanks for asking, but yeah, you're good.
Tough to remember to ask before interviews. But anyway, so everybody that I work with has one thing in common, whether they are making movies or music or books or courses or art or whatever it is that they're making in the world. There are people with visions and big hearts. And the work that I do is really how can we get into alignment with your vision so that you can bring it to life. And so I do that on two levels. I do that on a spiritual level, and I do that on a practical level. And both of those are so necessary. If you don't do the internal mindset work, right, for something that you want to create, you won't make it happen. Or if you do, you'll self-sabotage. You won't let yourself enjoy it. But if you don't do the practical work, right, you become the person at the $100 bill, hoping that your life changes somehow. So I like to guide people through what does alignment look like for you in a spiritual and a practical way. And how can we bring your vision to life? That's the work that I do. It's really rewarding. And the book that I wrote, I did everything in the wrong order, Haley. I joke about this all the time. I wrote a book before I even had like a solid website or a business at all. But I had a book inside me, and I'm a firm believer
how do you know if you should write a book? Fundamentally, if you have a book inside of you. And so I knew what I had learned based on my own experience, And that's what we're all an expert on. I would say that to anybody out there who's an entrepreneur, a leader, a
public figure. You are an expert in your story and your experiences and the lessons that you've learned. And so
I wrote a book with what I knew
called
How to Find Yourself,
Love Yourself, and Be Yourself.
The Secret
Instruction Manual for Being Human.
With the idea that if I can
grow up in a gay cult,
with everybody telling me not to find myself or be myself or love myself, then anybody can do that work and get to that point. I wanted to help them get there.
I love it. I love. I love that you mentioned alignment. I think that, at least for me, has been one of the most important areas of focus, to make sure that I'm completely in alignment with A, what I'm feeling called to do, and B, what my heart already knows to be true for myself, and how that shows up in the world. So I know that that's what you're passionate about, and that's part of the work that you do is help people create alignment in their life. And I would assume that by doing that for yourself, that's what's been really put you on this like magic carpet ride, right, of a more fulfilling and epic life. So is that part of the work that you do with your clients as well?
Yeah, and I love that you use the phrase magic
carpet ride. Damn, that's good, Haley.
Can we make damn Haley a Daniel?
Damn Daniel. I think it's time for damn Haley.
I'm down. I like
damn Haley with the good jewelry.
Haley with the good jewelry. I absolutely agree with that. For me, alignment is flow,
and we know how it feels. We know how it
feels to be in alignment in your life, in your relationships, in your business. And we know how it feels to be out of alignment, right? It feels icky, it feels tense, it feels painful and not peaceful. And
we know how that
feels as well.
The beautiful thing that I found is when you're in alignment,
stuff manifests without you even having to exert all this effort for it. It just works. It just shows up.
And so rather than trying to force something to happen,
I think alignment is the path to get there. I always tell people, manifestation is my real success story.
So yes, I understand that good breaks, quote unquote, happen. And yes, I understand that you've got to do the work, right? Fundamentally, the best stuff that showed up in my life happened because I was in the flow.
And letting myself
it. And so that's the real story,
Haley.
I love it. Okay, so let's leave our listeners, like, if you could give just a couple of tips, like a couple of things, nuggets that they might be able to use in order to create more alignment, more flow, and more ease with manifestation. What would you maybe suggest where they could get started?
I think a good starting point for people is to look at their desire and their fear. Something that was very influential for me when I was learning to be a coach is hearing Tony Robbins talk about people's intersection of desire and fear. With all the clients that I've worked with over the years,
I've gotten to a point where I can really predict what outcome someone's going to have based on how powerful their desire is versus how powerful their fear is, right? And I think we all have those two things. I don't think you ever fully get rid of the fear, right? Oprah's in her 60s.
She admits she still has fear
about things. But for somebody trying to create a life that they love, I would suggest look at what do you really desire
and what are you afraid of? Which one of those things is winning right now?
Do you want it more than you fear it? Because that's going to make all the difference.
I love the word desire. I think it's, for me, that's been a huge, just a check-in. Like, what do I desire? What do I desire? I've started just asking myself and really checking in with my body to feel into what's true, right? Around what I really, really want. So I love that you brought that up.
Yeah,
because I think,
and I love that because it's inner truth. A lot of people ask me all the time, how do I know what I want? And I think it's something you're only ever going to access from within, right? Often it's something that's been there for a while. Maybe something was there as a kid, or something you secretly wanted for years, but you've never really listened to or taken it seriously or told anybody. But desire is something you find and tap into within. And yeah, it's your inner truth that you have to access and own and embody.
I love it. And I think our bodies are a great way to, when we do check in that way, you can almost feel it. Like you can feel a yes, an absolute yes. Like you mentioned, it feels spacious and expansive. And if it's not a yes and not in alignment for the highest and best, then it feels almost like contracting or heavy. And so I think by helping people learn how to tap into their body, that's a great tool that we can use to make sure that we're on the right path. Yeah.
My mentor in college, Jordan Bach, taught me the question, does this decision feel like an expansion or a contraction? And I use it all the time, Haley. I constantly ask myself, which choice in this situation feels like expanding. I also love when I need to make a decision, the line on the floor test, whenever I don't know which decision to make, and I have some confusion about what is the expanding choice here. I lie on the floor and I ask for the answer to come, and it always does.
Oh, I love that. I love that idea. Just taking a moment to just like feel into it and allow the right answer to come. I also like to think about what feels light. Does it feel light? What feels light and easy? If it feels light, it's right. What's light is right. That's just another thing that I use personally to make sure that the decision that I'm making is the right one for me. So that's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. What's light is right. And it's all of this, I think, comes back to trusting yourself.
I was just talking with a private client about this the other day,
that if you can't trust yourself to honor your truth
and to follow your heart and to make the instinctively right decisions,
that's a really disempowered place to be, right?
Not knowing and trusting that you're going to choose what is best for you. And so whatever tools you have to use, whatever process, whichever of these metaphors resonates with you, being able to know and trust that inner voice, I think makes worlds of difference.
I love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. So if there is one last gem or nugget or anything else you would like to share with our listeners today, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we close out for today?
I think I would just like to speak over people that the best yet to come for you. Whether you've already had some really great times, and you need to dream to the next level. And imagine that it could get even better and that it won't fall out from under you. Or whether you're struggling to believe that anything can change. Either way, the best is revealed for you. That's what I want to believe for you and speak over you today.
We receive it. We receive it. We receive it. Thank you so much. That was fantastic. I really appreciate you being here today. I hope that this is just the first of many opportunities that we have to visit with you as you continue to make more and more magic in the world. And thank you for being part of our episode today.
Thank you for having me, Haley, and thank you for being a magic worker in the world. You light me up every time I talk to you.
Oh, I'm right there with you. Right back at you, brother. We love you. Thanks, everyone, again for joining us today with our sweet brother in Sparkle, Stephan Lovegrove, and I'll put all the links to all your information so that way they can reach out to you directly if they have any questions or want to connect with you in the future. Sound good?
Sounds good, Haley.
Sounds good, Haley.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.